how the Taiwan lobby helped pave the way for Pelosi's trip. Apparently, they gave over $3 million in lobbying money to Pelosi just in the last few years. So we can sell more weapons. That's any or all this has been about. I've talked about this already. Taiwan is a great place to just dump a bunch of surplus weapons that are old and ancient and antiquated. And that's precisely what we've been doing. We've been offloading like billions of dollars worth of old ass weapons that are just sitting around. You know what I mean? And when I said this last time, people got kind of mad at me, but that is precisely what it is. And that is, it is what it is. That's just what America's economy is, baby. We're just a weapons manufacturer, arms dealer, and not enough warehouse space in Ukraine. No, Ukraine is actually getting newer weapons for the most part, not older weapons. Ukraine's getting the new shit, the newer shit. Antiquated, not really. They're still really effective. Yeah, of course. Someone's got to buy the fucking weapons, dog. What do you mean? Somewhere, we got to put the weapons somewhere. $3.1 million the Taiwanese government has spent on lobbying Nancy Pelosi from 2018 to 2022. Of course, for $3.1 million, Nancy Pelosi is going to turn around. Well, it's not just $3.1 million. It's $3.1 million in lobbying that she's getting. But then also on top of that, it is the weapons manufacturers that are benefiting from the offloading of their old surplus shit. Okay? You ever go to the Army auction sites and almost buy a tank or an old Army Humvee? Yeah, me either.
Well, Zane, we're seeing China come full force with a whole array of retaliation and backlash diplomatically, economically, and militarily, of course. And now it is sinking U.S.-China relations to a new low. As you mentioned, they are sanctioning House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and her immediate family. They have not shared any information or details about what that will entail, but it is a highly symbolic move. And now, critically, they are announcing that they're cutting off dialogue with the U.S. in a wide array of areas.
I'm hearing
critically,
myself.
as you say, in climate change. This is a really big deal because climate change is one of the...
No, it's cool. No, it's fine to saber rattling with the most significant country in our already fragile supply chain that basically has like a universal grip on manufacturing. That's actually the smart thing to do and the right thing to do, really. So I'm glad that Nancy Pelosi was, girl bossing, out and about, doing what she does best. Okay, well, what's the problem? Y'all are just hating. Y'all are just hating on a queen, okay? Boss bitch. Boss lady.
Only areas where the U.S. and China were continuing to consistently speak to each other despite the heightened tension.
Can I ask a question? If the U.S. was already going to visit, why would they ever succumb to China's demands? That just seems like not an option from the U.S. perspective. I don't know. Maybe because China is an incredibly valuable trade partner. And also on top of that, the fucking a genuine competitor in America's endless and I would say desperate and flailing attempt at grasping to the remaining global hegemonic power status it has. China is going to overtake America. So it's probably better to have favorable dealings with China rather than try to continue fucking flailing your arms around like a psycho. By the way, the U.S. government agrees to the one China policy. So Nancy Pelosi doing this goes against that. Your original premise is misguided because the United States official policy towards Taiwan is that it is in recognition of the one China policy. But hey, like I said, those weapons got to go somewhere, baby.
Over the last few years. So the fact that they are cutting off dialogue in these key areas, it just shows the state of U.S.-China relations today and just how much mistrust there is between the two sides. And it remains to be seen if the impact of this is reversible.
So you don't think China is overreacting? Wait, I don't understand. If you tell someone like, I'm not going to hit you in the face, okay? I'm not going to hit you in the face. And then you slap them in the fucking face while you're like, oh, well, that was my friend. I have no control over my friend. But like, I totally could technically tell my friend not to slap you in the face. You're going to get a little bit of retaliation, right? Like, that's not even remotely comparable. How is that not remotely comparable? This is a cringe take. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry that I'm not going to fucking sit here and be like, HasanAbi being a CCP simp. Fuck all of you, okay? You know what my perspective on this matter is. It is not a bad analogy. Nancy Pelosi going to Taiwan, unironically, changes the dynamic. This is the last time this happened was Newt Gingrich in 1997. The Speaker of the House, the third in line of the fucking presidency, showing up in fucking Taiwan, against China's wishes, against the one China policy that America personally fucking abides by, is a direct fuck you. You can fucking try to get all of your talking points in order to be like, well, what about Taiwanese liberation? What about Taiwanese independence? What about this? What about that? It doesn't matter. The majority of Taiwanese people do not want to fuck the current predicament that they're in, okay? More of them want to inevitably get to independence than unify with China. Some of them even want to fucking take over mainland China, but that's psychotic and it doesn't fucking matter. But ultimately, what people want in Taiwan, if you care about what people in Taiwan want, it's don't rock the fucking boat. China is a gigantic economic power. China is a huge trade partner, okay? That's what the Taiwanese people are saying. If you look at the fucking numbers, that's what they're saying. If you look at CNN, you would think every single Taiwanese person wants to fucking do an international call to arms to take over fucking China. How quickly you get whipped up into a fucking frenzy over what you read and what you see. That is a bad analogy because at least that friend is his own person, not part of the same person. It's more like I didn't slap you with my hands that just crossed your face. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't even a friend. It was like, it's just literally straight up a slap from your hand. And also, you guys understand, domestically speaking, Nancy Pelosi is a fucking demon. So what happens all of a sudden when it's China, you forget that this is literally a demon? This is what I don't understand with leftist chats. Like, what, you think she like genuinely and earnestly cares about fucking the liberation of Taiwanese people? Is that what you think? They're straight up saber rattling, and you're like, no, that's actually, what the fuck? I don't understand what you're saying. It's not saber rattling at all. It is. That's exactly what it is. And that's precisely, your argument against it is very America First mentality, though. We should put people's rights about profits for our economy. What? Stop trying to use like emancipatory leftist language against like unironically keeping a business in the same way that it is when it comes to American foreign policy. It's one of the most disgusting things that anarchists try to fucking do regularly. Yeah, dude, so much emancipation is happening in Ukraine currently, right? It's great. Thank God for that. America is a global superpower, the global superpower, had every fucking opportunity to cut a deal and ensure that there were no invasion occurred in Ukraine with Russia and Ukraine, but it didn't do that. It kept fucking saber rattling. And Russia already had interest in Ukraine as well, obviously. And then they fucking followed through with it. They wanted to expand on their on the eastern Ukrainian territories, and they successfully did. And now the price of that is Ukrainian blood. Where are the American troops? Where are the American soldiers? They just fucking dumped a shitload of fucking small arms and also weapons into Ukraine and fucked off. Who made the money? The defense industry made the money. It's not America first, okay? What are you gonna do? Are you gonna go liberate Taiwan personally? Are you gonna fucking do a call to arms? Are you going to grab your weapons and fight against China? Is that what you're going to do? You motherfuckers cry when you can't get your treats, okay? For a week. You motherfuckers cry for hours when you can't get your treats for a week. Meanwhile, you're over here talking about fucking doing war with the largest global superpower. They're about to overtake America. You fucking idiot. This is like chat defends NATO 2.0. Yeah, I know. It doesn't. Hey, remember when I first covered this like a while ago? And there wasn't a lot of angry people in the chat. Remember when I covered it again earlier this week and there wasn't a lot of angry people in the chat? Do you want to know why there wasn't a lot of angry people in the chat? Because they hadn't gotten the appropriate talking points from their fucking YouTube essayists and from CNN. But now they have decided these are the appropriate talking points. Taiwanese independence, Taiwanese emancipation. So now you're seeing a lot more pushback. And it's only going to be worse overall because there's nonstop coverage over it. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating, and people can't even fucking take a breather and be like, maybe we shouldn't do this. Law, when it's the communists that are reactionary, you still attack America? Yeah, dude, I know. China super communist. Just like, I mean, China is at least more of a transitional socialist state than fucking Russia is, even though there's plenty of not socialist elements within China. Holy fuck. But the idea that we are not the most reactionary country on the fucking planet is ridiculous. Neocon anarchists? Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. Crazy that people are getting outraged now, but this shit has been going on for a while. But the second they see CNN and Nancy Pelosi, they want to get their AR-15s. No, they don't. They don't want to get their AR-15s. They don't want anything. They just want to fucking yell on the internet. If they truly wanted to fucking... First of all, us having this back and forth in this Twitch chat is completely negligible because, let's be real, the average American has no say over American foreign policy. Okay? Lockheed Martin has say over American foreign policy, and that's just the way it is. So all these people that are fucking writing essays on YouTube or in essays in fucking Twitch chat, repeating talking points they got from their favorite breadtube essayists, or repeating talking points they got from fucking CNN, MSNBC, it doesn't matter. We're just having an endless back and forth circle jerk. Okay? Ultimately, so many of these people are not going to do anything about it anyway. They would never do anything about it. And actually, they would only suffer the consequences personally of their tweets being shut off. And then the L taking would be associated with the Democratic Party. If they genuinely care about like, I don't know, the Democratic Party's involvement in politics and whatever the fuck, and if that's like the end all be all of like political action, then guess what? You're cucking yourself. Okay? It's just like, it's also insane because like this goes directly against what America has done for as long as it has, and what Taiwan has done for as long as it has been around, and what China has done. The one China policy has been basically fucking stable, okay? It has maintained stability for both Taiwan and China. That stability has allowed them to create economic development in both nations, okay? And it fucking works. It feels real disingenuous to see people use emancipatory language to talk about Taiwan or Ukraine, but then will refuse to engage in full-blown war with said nation. People should stand by what they preach. Your coverage of these issues have been the most honest conversation of foreign affairs. Yeah, it's just so fucking stupid. China escalated here. U.S. did not. Nancy Pelosi going to Taiwan is an escalation. Shut the fuck up. If you don't understand it, I don't know what to tell you. The notion that Nancy Pelosi going to fucking Taiwan is not an escalation is so silly, and the American State Department recognizes it as such too. And that's what's frustrating about it. That's why they had their fucking assholes puckered for the last week, constantly being like, we don't want to rock the boat, we don't want to fuck things up. It's just Nancy Pelosi is a girl boss. She can do things on her own. That's why they're fucking saying that. That's why Ned Price is going on TV, be like, oh, it's fine. It's okay that they're doing this. They're doing this for, this is just going to happen. We can't stop it.
Now, on the military front, we're also seeing China continue to ratchet up its intimidation of Taiwan, continuing to fly a large number of warplanes into Taiwan's self-declared air defense zone. This is the airspace around Taiwan, and a very inflammatory move yesterday, according to Chinese state media. Missiles from China flew over Taiwan Island for the first time, not around it, but over it. This is seen as a major escalatory move that military experts tell me go beyond what they expected China to do. And Zane, this is part of a days-long military drill that's happening in essentially a circle around Taiwan in what China has called a simulation blockade. The message China is sending to the world is that our powerful and modern military has the ability to choke Taiwan off from the rest of the world at any moment. But when I speak to military experts...
Damn, bro, that's terrifying. Yeah, China's doing America shit, baby.
They also...
And guess what? They actually do have the power to be able to do America shit, for the record.
So say, look, these military drills, they take a long time to plan.
Is this so like Cuba? Oh, how dare you? Oh, what? After all, China would never actually, purchase a piece of land or maintain a piece of land on this island nation for many, many years, while simultaneously funding like prior dictatorships to make sure that that country stayed under a brutal occupation, under a brutal fucking dictator by the name of Batista, but like, I don't know, use some like a Chinese version of that. And then, I don't know, just maintain complete blockade and stop them from trading with international partners for many, many, many fucking years. They would never do that. They would never cut them off with sanctions. Oh, wait, that's right. We did do that to Cuba, and we're still doing that to Cuba. Meanwhile, we're fucking complaining about how China has dealt with Taiwan.
They couldn't have planned all of this just when they found out Pelosi might have been visiting Taiwan. Some of this had probably been a year in the making, and then they probably made some tweaks to their old outline when they found out about Pelosi's potential visit. But by pegging all of this military activity to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's visit, it's creating a lot of patriotism and nationalism at home from people in China who said this was a direct threat to our sovereignty, and we wanted to see a big response, that there's a price to be paid for provoking China. So it is a welcome distraction as well to Chinese leader Xi Jinping for the home audience at a time when the economy here is struggling under the weight of China's continuing zero COVID policy.
by. Let me bring in Natasha now. So Natasha, obviously it's impossible to generalize the thoughts, feelings and opinions of 330 million people, but has the way Americans perceive Nancy Pelosi, has that changed in the wake of her visit to Taipei?
It's really hard to say, but look, this was very widely recognized as kind of a legacy trip by Nancy Pelosi. This is likely her last term in Congress, and she wanted to convey to the world that she is tough on China. That is a reputation that she has had for many decades, showing the world that she is willing to stand up to the Chinese. And this is something that she wanted to do on one of her potential last major foreign trips, especially as the House Speaker. Now, the White House, of course, had been discouraging her for many, many weeks from taking this trip because they viewed it as potentially escalatory. And as we see, their kind of worst suspicions and fears have come true with the major Chinese response that we are seeing around Taiwan. But at the same time, the White House is saying that China's actions here are not proportional, that a House Speaker has visited Taiwan in the past, and that
Dude, that's my favorite, dude. Yeah, they haven't done it in like 20 fucking years. In like almost 30 years, they haven't done it. I wonder why. Did you know that China occupies a part of Taiwan where it has a military naval base and detention camp, which it also uses as a torture site while also enforcing an embargo on the island? Oh, wait, that's the U.S. and Cuba. Yup. China also tried to assassinate the leader of Taiwan over 600 times. Oh, wait, that's also Cuba. And the grossest assassination of all time is the character assassination that my man has to fucking withstand post-mortem by being played by James fucking Franco. He does kind of look like him though, so I'll allow it. But, you know, anyway, let's continue.
The United States' one China policy and one, policy towards Taiwan has not changed either. They still believe that Taiwan should not be independent, and the visit by the speaker has not changed that view. So what they're trying to convey to the Chinese, and what the White House actually conveyed to the Chinese ambassador to the U.S. when they summoned him to the White House just yesterday, is that it is China's actions now that are unprecedented, not the United States. But at the same time, what they're saying here is that they're not going to back down from their operation.
So weird. Such a weird thing to say. Hey, why did you feel the need to say that then? You know, if you're not rocking the boat, why do you feel the need to mention that you're not actually rocking said boat? What is the boat then? Where is the boat? US be like, why are you hitting yourself, China? Come on, dude. It's also quite hilarious to like say this while every fucking leader universally is like, China's the global enemy. They're the demons, Jack. Look alive. I'm campaigning on that. And it's like, you expect Chinese leadership to also have eyes and ears and at least a firm grasp on history and how America's foreign adversaries have been treated in the past. The only difference now is that the first time you have a fucking foreign adversary that is an economic powerhouse of our creation. So it's fun. It's fun to have these combos.
Operations in the Western Pacific, just because China has engaged in these military drills, despite the fact that, according to the National Security Council spokesman here, it appears to the United States as though China is deliberately upping the ante here in order to create a kind of new status quo, in order to kind of push the United States out of that orbit and make it so.
America's so funny that they're able to literally do this. And then the media, which is, by the way, of course, not consolidated and totally free, will turn around and be like, yeah, you know, it's really fucked up. It's really fucked up. I can't believe, we double dog dared China to do something and then they ended up doing something. And that's really fucked up of China to do, really. It's like, motherfucker, you literally just said that Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taiwan is rocking the fucking boat. And the State Department recognizes that. And then you're like, oh my God, I can't believe China is like reacting to our actions that do actually rock the fucking boat. Man, that's so crazy.
So that this is normalized.
And the worst part is there are so many fucking idiotic, brain-broken liberals, even in this fucking community, that take that propaganda hook, line, and sinker immediately. You have such fucking soft spots, dude. You have such, both in your skull and also in your hearts, that like it is so easy to dupe you. Sprinkle on a little bit of fucking SJW talking points and motherfuckers are like, yeah, what the fuck? Like, It's true. Like, the people of Taiwan deserve independence, and Nancy Pelosi is gonna fucking give it to them.
Military activity near Taiwan to kind of prevent the United States from feeling as though it is safe to operate there. So there are a lot of escalating tensions here, a lot of back and forth that has continued between the White House and China on this. It remains to be seen, of course, whether China continues to escalate in the coming days. The White
I was informed, right? Hasan does insult this community. Account created 2 hours ago, following 2 hours ago. I'm sure this is the first time you've encountered this.
White House says they believe that is entirely possible.
All right, Natasha Bertrand, live for us there. Selena Wang, thank you both.
Question, are you saying Taiwan shouldn't be independent? No, I'm not saying that. As it stands, currently, Taiwan and China have a complicated relationship, one that America abides by. Are you saying that the U.S. should take actions against Pelosi? No, I'm saying that she should have never fucking went to Taiwan. They should have told that girl boss to stay the fuck home. Or at least, you know, complete the Asian tour that she was doing, the tour of Asia, without, you know, making one of the wings of that tour in fucking Taiwan. Because ultimately, China is not, like, gonna abide by your fucking rules. If you try to get into a wager with China, the largest economic superpower right now, outside of the United States of America, you don't want to fucking see what happens when they actually follow through. Doesn't it make America look weak if she doesn't go after? They warn her. Wait, what? Dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Make America look weak. I don't give a fuck about making America look weak. America can suck my dick and balls, dude. What do you mean? Oh, make America look weak. These are psychotic fucking terms to abide by. What are you talking about? You say nothing about what's happening, but couldn't this be seen as a response to the reports of China making a move in Taiwan in the next 3 to 5 years? I'm done. I'm done covering foreign policy for the rest of my life. It's over. I'm never going to cover foreign policy ever again. Because no matter how long term of a community fucking subscriber you are, as a matter of fact, the longer you are a community subscriber, the more likely you are to unironically take everything that someone else is saying. America has no business in Taiwan. America does not give a fuck about Taiwanese independence, okay? Regardless of whether China is saying, like, oh, we're going to invade Taiwan, or whatever the fuck, American intelligence is saying about China moving into Taiwan, does not change the American perspective, okay? It's just like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm an American, okay? I have no business and I have no say in what China can and can't do. I don't even have any business or say in what America can and can't do. I'm over here, I guess, promoting the concept of, like, American democracy in theory, but the U.S. doesn't care about the people there. If Taiwan gained independence and severed ties with the U.S., there'd be a Falun Gong coup within months. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. USA should not be policing this. I mean, they're not even doing a good job policing it. I don't understand how you can think that America, given how much it's done and what it continues to do around the world, legitimately cares about what the Taiwanese, like, how can you feel like America is legitimately trying to do what's right by the Taiwanese people? I don't understand it, okay? Especially as, like, America has demonstrated once again that it doesn't give a fuck about how many Ukrainian people die in the process in Ukraine after Russia invaded. America, as the world's largest superpower, had every opportunity in the buildup to the tensions to solidify a relationship with Ukraine and make that relationship permanent and ensure that Ukraine was not, and consider talking to Russia, not as a foreign adversary, but as also a trade partner in Europe. But of course, European trade partnership with Russia implies that they're competing with American gas providers. So that was already a problem to begin with. And they didn't do that. They used Ukraine as a cudgel, and they continue to use Ukraine as a weapon, and no diplomatic avenues could be reached. And why couldn't it be reached? Because Russia always wanted to invade Ukraine. Russia always wanted to invade Ukraine. Russia always wanted to invade Ukraine. And now you're doing that same thing with China and Taiwan. And if you even say China is definitely using Nancy Pelosi's visit as an excuse to invade Taiwan, then why give them the opportunity? If that's the case, why give them the fucking opportunity? And then people turn around and say American exceptionalism is a hell of a drug. And I can't tell if Faustini agrees with me or not, especially because, and that is why we don't put you in charge of any foreign relations or national security, because you would get the bank. What? Sorry, I know. My brain is too stupid to understand that, like, America actually does have like a legitimate reason here and a legitimate security concern here. Yeah, and all those security concerns are whittled down to, we can't let China fucking thrive too hard because they're going to become the global hegemonic superpower. Don't worry. I'll never be anywhere near the levers of fucking power, and neither will you. The closest you'll feel to levers of power is by yelling into a fucking endless feedback loop in this chat. Why not ask Ukrainians if they think Russia will always want to invade? What difference does it make what Ukrainians think when neither you nor I, especially as it pertains to our American status, give a fuck? If Americans cared about what fucking Ukrainians think about the Ukrainian invasion in the hands of brutal Russian occupiers, then they would have fucking done World War III and potentially started a nuclear holocaust. Okay? But they didn't do that, did they? And if that was always going to be the fucking, if that was always going to be the threat on the other side of that, then why the fuck did they allow this to get to the point that it did without exhausting diplomatic avenues? It's so incredibly fucking frustrating to have this conversation. Didn't Baldwin bankrupt literally ask Ukrainians prior to the war? Most of them said there was no shot. Yeah, neither. And Zelensky didn't think there was a shot either. So many Ukrainians also did not think that this was going to happen. And now for some fucking weird reason, everyone's acting like every Ukrainian universally was like, Russia's definitely going to invade. No, you watch CNN say that. And then Russia was psychotic enough to actually pull through. I don't know what you guys do. Like, I don't know where your brain goes. Is it like a vacuum or something when I talk about like all of the things that have happened in the buildup to like Russia, the USSR invading Afghanistan, America's involvement there? Like, you hear all of that and you go, that's right. And then how it like ties all the way back to 9/11, blowback from fucking Iraq and Afghanistan. I explain all of this shit to you for hours at a time. But then for some fucking weird reason, you can't literally go, wait, isn't a similar thing currently happening in fucking Ukraine? Because you cannot separate people's genuine interest in emancipation from America's material interest in the region to continue creating ongoing conflict. Color revolutions don't happen without legitimate interest from the people, okay? It's just about motivating them and then funding them and putting their interests front and center in the Western media while also providing structural and material support to those people, okay? Obviously, there are people that want emancipation, and those needs are legitimate. But America's interest in beefing up those movements is not. It is to make money for defense contractors. And this personally, like this move by Nancy Pelosi was an instigation. And China absolutely fucking used it as a way to say fuck you back. So many of you have completely looked past that for some weird reason and are now talking about like Nancy Pelosi didn't instigate, China instigated. It's like, okay, you got it.